The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are not necessarily representative of the coalition or any other entity. This content is intended for mature audiences only.
What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 143. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
I want to live, I want to love, because it's a long, hard road out of hell.
Carlos Romero.
Yo.
Brian Manjoma.
Man, Hunter x Hunter is getting good, like really good.
Brett Murdoch.
Hi, I'm Brett Murdoch, and you may remember me from such podcasts as The Throwdown.
And Adam Vale.
Tory Teenage Riot regret doing that song with Manson.
They
regret it.
Right, no Chris action. He's busy doing something, I guess. So hopefully he'll join us on Throwdown. You know,
he's in the hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, he's preparing. You know,
He'll be back by now. That shit slows time.
Before we start, just I want to do something. Look what I got in the mail.
What is
Gun?
The NES Classic Edition.
Oh, look at that! Where'd you get that from?
I got it from Think Geek, and you know what? I'm gonna hold on to this shit for a decade or two. That's all I'm saying.
I want the Super Nintendo one.
I want to try to get that one.
Hey, Tony, why don't you just buy an OG NES, and it'll be cheaper than that, and it'll be worth more.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It'll still work too.
But isn't this like there are less of these around than old school NESs though?
Yeah, but the NESs are cheaper if you buy them off eBay.
You're missing the point. You know how much I could get $400 off of this right now.
Oh no, yeah, you'll definitely make more money off of it right now. But I'm just saying, in 20 years from now, 10 years from now, I think the NES will be worth more.
Really?
So Tony, might I add, you should be a fucking shame of yourself. You know why?
Why?
Because Think Geek is a certain place that you don't like to go to.
GameStop.
I buy stuff from GameStop. What are you talking about?
GameStop.
Yeah, I'm the guy that's always said, "Hey, the reason I go to GameStop is because it's literally like easier for me." I have no shame buying from GameStop. They service me. You know, it's like a hooker. You know, you get what you need. But the thing is, I got it because it came bundled with this giant fucking Mega Man helmet. Like the helmet costs more than the fucking system. You know. So I'm like, okay, I got this crazy. So I got all this Mega Man shit from Think Geek. I got that. I got this and shit. I don't know.
Was the super bundle? What was it, like two and change?
Yeah. And I also got these. It's like pins and stuff. It's like Mega Man pins. All the like main characters.
This is from Did you buy them from Think Geek, or did they send this to you?
I bought it. My money. You know. By the way, I'm an idiot. I've been playing Mega Man games for 30 years, right? And I just realized, oh shit, Dr. Wily looks like Albert Einstein.
Well, you know, it's funny. Dr. Light and Dr. Wily kind of look Einstein-esque.
Nah, look at Dr. Light. He doesn't look like, he doesn't have the crazy hair.
I have his Funko on my desk. I'll take a picture tomorrow on my work desk.
So yeah, pretty crazy. All right, man. So with that, let's get to some questions, man. For you guys in the live chat, start asking us shit. Okay, so first up is Mr. G Megaforce 123. So he goes, should Nintendo temporarily increase the price of the Switch? So he goes, the shortage issue is projected to go into next year. Switch won't be able to meet demand anytime soon. Here's the thing, though. In every other market, when demand can't be met, what companies do is increase the price in order to hit equilibrium. So maybe Nintendo should do the same. Say increase by $50 and throw in something extra to justify such as an SD card, $30, $50 in eShop credit or a free game. It would help to solve the issue of them leaving money on the table, at least until supply can increase. Then once demand has been met for a month or two, drop the price again. Honestly, I think it would benefit let me finish the question, man. Honestly, I think it would benefit everyone. Increase it next month, drop it when Mario drops. Then the people who want the system the most get it. And there's more stock available for the holidays. It was a huge mistake for Nintendo to have never raised the price of the Wii U to $300. So maybe they should avoid repeating the same mistake. All right, Adam, go.
That would just be a big mistake. You know, how many people would flip out that happened,
hell
they were
yeah.
like, "What the fuck?"
I don't
Okay.
I don't understand the rationale behind his question. I'm like, why? I'm being honest. G Megaforce, no disrespect, obviously. I don't. It would be a stupid tactic to do that.
Well, no, it's not a stupid tactic, but it's not a tactic. It's something that happens naturally, and that's already happening with resellers. I mean, if you really want to switch and you want to pay an inflated price, you can. So yeah,
Nintendo's not going to raise that price though.
No, Nintendo. No, that would be suicide for them, because it's already incredibly difficult to find one of those, find a Switch, and then all of a sudden you're going to start telling people, oh, because the demand is high, we're raising the price.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
No. Nintendo is not in the business of raising prices. They're not even really in the business of lowering prices. They rarely do that too. So I think it's going to stay the same as is. Again,
well, I mean,
in history, we have never seen.
He's asking a question: should they do it? That's the main question.
I don't think they should do it. I think they should leave it alone. I mean, what they could do is they could try to sweeten the deal for people for later editions and put like maybe a game inside of it. But no, they're not going to raise their price. They can't raise the price without there being instant backlash. Nothing ever goes up. Usually things go down.
Yeah, you never heard of a console going up in price. That's weird.
Even when Sony was packing in Uncharted and when Xbox had Halo with their consoles, they were still the same price.
Yeah.
And they came with those games.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go over this any further. No, it's not.
It just creates bad press too. Like,
yeah,
it's just gonna get.
Imagine that they would have a field day with that shit. You know,
Nintendo decides they are going to up the price of the Nintendo Switch because of high demand.
Hey. All right, man. Let's move on. Next question here. This is an interesting one. Have any games with a depressing atmosphere turned you off? He goes. So I started playing Hollow Knight recently. I really enjoyed the game, but there's a part of me every time I play that becomes bogged down by just how depressing it can be. Have any of you guys felt like this?
Last of Us.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. The Last of Us had some moments where like, fuck, man.
Like
I used to be in a certain mood to play that.
Yeah, I would replay them. I was like, I'm not replaying this shit. I didn't replay it until a year later when the remaster came out because the game was so like oppressively depressing. I was like, I'm good. You know,
I feel like like for me it was like when I played that game, like I was like, I don't think I want to play this game again. I don't really want to go back into that world. That's kind of why I haven't played the DLC as of yet.
I did the DLC, but when the remaster came out, I was all hyped. I'm like, and then as I played, I'm like, this is some depressing shit. I have to be in a certain mood to come back to this. I still haven't gone back to it.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I will say the longer I played Transistor, though, the bleaker it looked and the less I enjoyed it. All the way to the end, which was depressing as a motherfucker.
Anybody else? Carlos?
I mean, The Last of Us was the first thing that came into my head, but it's already been used. I would say maybe the BioShock games are kind of depressing too. Like the atmospheres is like, especially the first one. It just makes you feel like you're in a world that, like, there's no hope for this world. Like, what's the point in trying to survive when everything looks so like useless?
I think
everything looks so bad in that world.
I think Dark Souls has rendered me immune to that.
Yeah.
I feel like
Manny, real quick. Hashling wants to know what headphones you have on. He's never seen those before.
Oh, these are a pair of Sony ones.
Sony.
They're actually a really nice. They're actually a really nice pair that come with like a little pouch that you can stick them in.
Sweet. All right, go ahead. What was your point about depressing games?
What was it? I was gonna say also, the Dark Souls world is and the Bloodborne world is just like a world that's just gone to total fucking shit. Like there is in at least in Bloodborne there is no hope for you. You can't save that fucking world. That's it.
I also want to nominate GTA 4. That's a game I'm like, I'm not feeling like fun playing this game. It's very depressing, the shit Nico has to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just thought that they were trying to capture a like bleaked out New York feeling. Not that that's actually how New York is, but you know, like every show that takes, Yeah, like how every TV show that you watch takes place in New York, it has this like weird washed out, desaturated filter.
Yeah, no, and also add the whole aspect of he's an illegal immigrant and all that shit. It's like, this is not fun, you know. So
he's a Nico was a very he's a very different Grand Theft Auto character because he's not like a semi stereotype archetype character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he doesn't. It feel it like there's like a weird tone that happens with the game because like everybody around a lot of people around Nico are a little bit over the top, but yet he is like the guy commenting on how stupid and over the top the world actually is.
Yeah, and then even the ending of the game, you didn't feel triumphant like you usually do when you beat a Grand Theft Auto game. It's like, damn, even this like ending is depressing, you know?
Yeah, the ending was really depressing. Another game that like came to my head was Inside. Recently, I played like that game.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
that whole world was depressing, and the ending was depressing. And like, if depending on what you understood of the ending to be, like I'm pretty sure every conclusion everyone made was a depressing one.
Yeah, right.
I got a good one. Fallout 3.
Really? How's that?
I mean, I loved the world, and I loved the aesthetics, and I loved like the retrofuturism. But the fucking wasteland, like, was just like I remember specifically hearing finding a quest where somebody had said, "Yeah, you hear there's a tree with green on it," and I was like, "There's a tree in this world?" And like I traveled halfway across the map and spent hours trying to track down this little grove of trees because
it's in that cliff, right?
Yeah. I just remember so desperately wanting to see green in Fallout. Like I enjoyed it. But like Fallout 3 specifically is the bleakest of all Fallout games. It has very few settlements. Most everything's trash. Everything is brown because it was that phase of gaming where everything is brown. New Vegas and Fallout 4 are like super colorful and bright and filled with life compared to Fallout 3. So as much as and I'm not saying I didn't love Fallout 3, I'm just saying like everything as you were kind of trudging through the wasteland, it was just so barren and desolate that you kind of had this moment like, ugh. Same with Metro. Metro's another one of those games. Like I think Metro went a little bit further where it was almost too like everything was gone. Nothing was rebuilt. People weren't really doing anything except like squatting in holes.
Yeah, Brian, what you got, man? Mr. Brian, stop playing Warframe.
I'm trying to think, like, and I can't think of anything really. I'm just because I actually had no issue with Last of Us. I found it just okay. It's like nothing really got to me.
Well, I think that's why I said Fallout though, because like Last of Us had people. It had civilizations still trying to grow.
Yeah, see, for me, I wouldn't like. I didn't feel that way about any Fallout 3 because it was so goofy that you're kind of laughing at the game most of the time. You don't really feel like any kind of depression. It's just like this over the top 1950s retro futuristic world. Like to me, I was laughing more than anything. Like hearing the crazy radio commentary, the wacky civilians, even the side quest. That one with the tree you're talking about, I was laughing my ass off.
No, I know. The whole game like makes up for it by being lighthearted. But if you're talking about like depressing ambiance or atmosphere, like that game was a little bit of a trudge, and I'm glad they put green in. I can't really think of a whole lot of games like that. Usually, if like a game is sad, like even most zombie games, like the theme is that there's something clinging to life. You're fighting the invasion. There's very few games, I think, where all hope is lost, and even in like Bloodborne, where everything is fucked, everything is going to continue to be fucked, or it will be more fucked. Those are your choices. Even those games like have some kind of glimmer of hope to them, I think. I'm just rambling now. I suppose.
It's Brian, nothing.
No, I'm just trying to think. Like Metro was. I think the closest thing I had is Metro, because that was just really bleak and really shitty, and the fact that your character is not really a good character in Metro. I think that is what could get to me most. But apart from that, no, I'm good.
All right. With that, we will move on to Mr. All Day Digital. So he goes, do you think that CD Projekt Red is the only company pushing the RPG genre forward? Because to me, everything is super cookie cutter and I'm tired of it. What devs do you trust? A little bit of another question in there. I can't speak about this because I haven't played any of the Witcher games, so I'll leave this to the guys who have played it.
I believe it.
So you think it's moving the genre forward?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I mean, it is in a way because it's not broken.
Really?
You know, it was so open. There were so many different things to do. You know, it's actually overwhelming at some points because when I would look at that map, just too many things on that marker to do.
What's innovative about it?
I guess just the storytelling. You know, the storytelling was engaging and it was different. And
really,
just pulled me in. Yeah, it was a good one.
It's not, you know, the same format as, like, say, a BioWare game.
I feel like it offers more, and it felt more complete and more polished compared to a BioWare game.
I'm not going to argue that. I'm not, you know, I've made no secret of the fact that, like, I tried to get into all the Witchers, and, you know, actually that's a pretty good example of the previous question. Now that I think about it, like, everything is just so dark and grim, and it feels bleak and heavy. It's that kind of weird German folktale, like, you know, swampy kind of. I don't know. It's that, and the combat, I think, turned me off. But I will give props to them making a solid game that just doesn't happen to be my taste. But from all my experiences with it, it took a BioWare approach and then took a little bit of a new spin on it. I'm not saying that they're a bad company. I'm not saying that they're, you know, not, you know, ahead of the pack in terms of RPGs. In fact, I'm really looking forward to their new Cyberpunk title. Like, I'm looking forward to something from them that isn't The Witcher. But I wouldn't say that they're pushing the genre forward, because I don't feel like they've done anything incredibly innovative. Somebody please prove me wrong on this.
No, where the Witcher fans at? Where the Witcher fans at?
I agree. The Witcher, like what The Witcher is just a solid, like, Western RPG game that's polished to all hell and has, like, so many things to do that overwhelms you. It doesn't really push the genre forward. It just does a really good amalgamation of what it's supposed to, like, what it's already done. So as far as the question, I don't think anyone is really pushing the RPG forward. Has there been any RPGs recently that have really redefined what we think RPGs are supposed to be?
Japanese one, Persona 5.
Even Persona 5 is just it just made the, like, whatever it was doing, it just made it better, but it's not innovating anything.
It's a great game. It's just a Persona game. I'm
with you,
great.
Paul. I don't think
Dragon's Age.
Dragon Age is just another BioWare game. You know,
well, but BioWare has, I would say, been consistent with pushing it forward. You know, they've kept the same formula.
Yes.
How?
Last gen, yes.
No, I don't agree with that. This generation now, I don't know, man.
Even this last Dragon's Age, and yeah, I'm gonna keep saying it like that. Fuck all of you.
You sound retarded, but anyway.
Even this last one, it added the base camp thing, the tower that you could build up, and you could send people on missions. Like, it always seems to add, like, a little new mechanic or a little new flair. And it's not a lot, but they hit the point of their last game and they pushed just a little bit beyond, which is technically the definition of moving the genre forward, because, you know, then a choice-based RPG, you know, I would say Dragon's Age would be the high watermark. So I would say, you know, if we're splitting hairs by definition, I would say BioWare has in the past, in several different situations, pushed the genre forward.
But now,
and I'd make the argument more so than CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, but now that's the thing. Like, would you say that BioWare now is pushing them more than
Mass Effect Andromeda move this genre forward?
No, Mass Effect as a franchise took a dive. I don't know how the next Dragon Age is going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be good. If it's not, then I will feel like they've just abandoned their roots, and I'll probably be done with them as a developer. Like, yeah, that's the sad thing.
I agree with that.
Nobody really, nobody else other than like kind of CD Projekt Red does BioWare style games. So I don't know why BioWare is starting to pull away from them. You know, it's like, oh, people are getting sick of these games. Like, no, you're the only people that are and can make these games. That'd be like Bethesda being like, we're done with open world games with weird graphical glitches that you can wander anywhere and pick anything up and then punch strangers in the face.
Yeah. By the way, I'll throw these questions in here right now. Some people want to know, what do we consider innovative?
Well, you know what? It's funny. Like when we're talking about CD Projekt Red and BioWare. I mean, to be honest, those two situations are what I feel like Brett has an issue with Horizon Zero Dawn. It's just that sort of RPG world kind of just taken to its ultimate, sparkly sheen. It doesn't do anything that different from before, but it does. It improves on what is done.
Here's one. Narrative choices that actually make a difference in The Witcher 3. Like, and actually having storylines that actually make you care. Like in most games, you have side quests, but you won't really give a shit about the side quest. It's just like, oh, this guy has told me to do like a thing, and then I'll just go off and do it, and then that's it. Whereas in The Witcher 3, like you'll get side quests, and they'll feel like a mainline quest in the sense of like, okay, here's like all the backstory, here's the reason why, and then like here's like all the small decisions that you get, and then here's the big payoff for this quest. And it's like, wow, that felt like a whole piece of like mainline like storyline, but it's a side quest. And it has really cool like decision making. Like one of the quests that I really liked was like to find this woman who had wandered off from her village, to find out that she got killed off by a werewolf. I'm not gonna spoil why and how, but it's a really cool storyline. That's like, this is actually really cool, and it brings in everything. Well, it brings in some elements that I've just been through in that village, and it's like, that's pretty neat.
Well, the pacing and the polish are excellent in that game. One of the things I especially like is that it hooks you with a narrative line and makes you want to unfold the mystery of the story, and then has you actually do kind of investigative stuff, tracking down, instead of being like, here's a parameter and then you have to track it down here, like you actually have to follow the narrative plot, and it usually ends up figuring out what the enemy is, preparing for the enemy in the correct way, and it culminates in a battle, and then the storyline continues. So it's a very good formula. And I would probably concede the idea that, or even the argument that this is why they do what BioWare does, but better. But I wouldn't say that it's adding anything new to the recipe. I would say the reason I said BioWare in this last Dragon Age game, see, goddamn it, you guys finally just got me to give up on it. In this last Dragon Age game, like they added the headquarters. Hold on.
Ghostbusters are showing up.
Yeah, I know, man. They added the headquarters, the castle that you can upgrade. And while that wasn't necessarily a new idea, it was a mechanic that was borrowed from a different genre and then bolted on to the RPG formula. So it brought something new into the RPG formula, which by definition, if that then catches on and people continue to do that, I consider that innovative. Anytime you set a new standard. Nobody's going to be surprised by this one. Zelda, climbing mechanics, innovative. First time somebody did it, people are probably going to repeat it. It'll probably become some sort of standard in free roaming games. Innovative.
No, I disagree with that. I would give that trophy more to Assassin's Creed. Like Assassin's Creed set the bar for climbing mechanics in video game.
The whole parkour aspect of gaming.
Yeah,
they absolutely did. But I think the freeform climbing mechanics of Zelda are the natural next evolution of that.
Yeah, you can climb shit in Assassin's Creed. You can't climb everything. Zelda, you could pretty much climb everything. Yeah,
so it pushed the envelope a little further. I'm not saying it's like this dynamic or world-changing thing. It's actually just a very small like progression. That's why it's so simple. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it before. Like, I fucking hate not being able to just climb that rock face. I'm like, okay, here you go. You can climb that rock face. Okay, cool. That's something that I don't have to look for the little mark signs or the window sills or anything like that. I can just climb whatever the fuck I want to climb. So it's, this isn't me a case of like holding up fucking Zelda like baby Simba. This is just me saying, like, it doesn't have to be a big leap forward to be innovative. Shadow of Mordor, perfect example.
Yes,
That in the chat. That's not my. I don't get credit for that one, but that's a perfect example. They took an Assassin's Creed clone, added a new mechanic to it that worked and was something that had not been done before. I mean, that's probably the definition of innovation.
You're talking about the Nemesis system, right?
Yeah.
Nemesis.
Yeah. I agree with that. About that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man. Let's move on here to Black Metal Gamer. All right, so what historical setting that hasn't been captured in a modern game would you like to see?
Mesopotamia.
Oh yeah, well, you're about to. No, I was about to say you're about to get an Assassin's Creed. You're not. That's still Egypt.
Egypt.
Yeah. All right, Mesopotamia. There you go.
We're doing the whole Egypt thing now with AC. They're going to be in Egypt.
Yeah, they're going to be doing it.
I feel like everything has been done.
I want to see a really a nice open world Japan.
But we've seen
ancient,
Japan.
Ancient Japan.
Yakuza.
Well, Jade Empire wasn't Jade Empire.
No, that's not open world.
No, but it was still showed the world.
No, it's not. It wasn't.
You're talking about like
I want to see like
type
ancient Japan, like samurai, different daimyos, shit like that. Like, an accurate representation of a place in Japan, rather than just like a street, or or like a very they don't do those games. Maybe the Yakuza games, but I mean, the previous the ones that were like ancient Japan Yakuza games, but I have never seen those games, so.
Yeah, but what about a completely new setting that hasn't been seen? We've seen Japan all to high hell in video games.
Well, I want to see like an open world like town in place in Japan.
I'm asking you, pick a different something.
That's my answer. You don't like my fucking answer?
But that's not.
I don't like your answer.
Before the question says a place we have never seen before. We've seen Japan a million times.
We've seen Japan a million times, but we've never seen a full open world Japan.
Yeah, but Japan is still a place we've seen before.
I want to see that shit.
Hey Tony, you just got donated $10 for looking fly in a tux.
Oh, thank you for that, man. My answer is ancient fucking Greece, like the Battle of Thermopylae.
We've done Greece. We've done Greece too.
Hey, if you could cheat, I could cheat too, right? That's how it works now.
I ain't cheating.
That's cheating, man. Hey, wait. So you didn't cheat, but I cheated.
I didn't cheat. I didn't cheat. You didn't cheat.
Oh man.
But here's the thing. If we say new and interesting worlds that we've never seen, a lot of this stuff has already been hit.
Yes,
Mesopotamia hasn't been hit.
That's why it's hard to answer this, because we kind of covered everything.
Like the Aztec Empire.
Ooh, there you go. We never seen like an Aztec game. There you go.
Apocalypto the game. There we go.
Yeah. You want to talk like a good place for an RPG would be. We were just kind of talking about this before the show. Ireland, 18th century, when you had the Catholic Protestant conflicts going on and all the different, or before that, like there's been several times in its history where it's been divided into several different, clashing and warring kingdoms, each founded by invaders. Somebody comes in, invades, stays, breeds into the local population, walls off a big section of the country, and calls it theirs. And a lot like feudal Japan, like that adds that kind of warlord. Everybody kind of is fighting over boundaries and fighting off invaders kind of mentality. Like that would actually be pretty cool. Like there's a lot of cool castles, or Scotland, or any of that kind of stuff. Actual feudal outlying territories that were considered barbarians at the time, because we always go centralized world, Egypt and Rome and things like that, but the outliers are kind of left in the dust. Witcher did a good job with kind of representing old school like Polish Germanic, but the closest I've seen to like even like Celts would be cool. They're you see a little bit of them in Conan, but they're just these weird kind of Pikmin, not like Nintendo Pikmin, but
and Conan's not exactly real. It's like the Hyborian Age or whatever.
Well, that's why I'm saying we haven't actually seen it. Like you haven't actually seen any representation of like the Celts.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, this is a tough one because like all the shit I'm thinking about has already been covered.
Well, Celt stuff always gets thrown into like Odin shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Daniel J. He says he wants to see an RPG in the Inca Empire. Like it'd be crazy to see like
Dude,
in Machu Picchu. That should be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. All right. Any other ones?
Australia during when it was a prison colony.
Oh shit. That was a good one.
That would be interesting.
It'd be essentially Mad Max, but in ancient time, a long time ago.
Yeah, man. Great placing for a video game.
My name's Max.
All right. Anybody else?
I would say space, but Call of Duty's already got that.
Yeah, right. All right. Let's move on here. This is an interesting one. What gaming gimmicks of the past do you think actually helped gaming today, or did they all suck?
Rumble is one of the gimmicks that stuck on and was really useful. Something that is necessary now.
Analog sticks. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you could call those gimmicks.
Were gimmicks?
Analog. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. They made things better.
Or not like. Well, I guess it doesn't make anything better, but I do like the fact that you do have sound in your controllers now. That's kind of cool,
dude.
And that's Wii stuff.
Wireless
controllers. Yeah,
they have a lower latency. Like that's why you don't see them used a lot in competitive play if they can get around it. So they're in essence an inferior product. And I remember it was kind of a hard sell. And people were like, yeah, I mean, then I just have to charge them, recharge them, and they have a fucking battery in them. Like, why don't I just get a longer cord? They have cord extenders. Like they felt gimmicky when they started, and they've just integrated to be a normal thing.
The Wavebird was like the first one. I have the
complete opposite thing. When I played it with a wireless control, I'm like, I'm never going back to wired. Fuck that shit.
Hey,
like,
I got the best answer. What about a graphical user interface? Because everything used to be like command line shit. Like video games used to be like just command line like answers and stuff. But now that we got graphical interface, we got graphics.
Was that a gimmick though?
Maybe people back then thought it was.
I don't know.
What is this graphical interface? I want text adventures.
Yeah, it's a tough one to answer. But yeah, I like the controller ones. Those are good.
We know that motion control is not going to stick.
That didn't stick at all. You saw what happened with that.
Nobody wants it.
Nobody wants it. That's why.
Nobody wants screens either.
Even with a Switch that has like proper motion controls, people don't.
Yeah, people don't want that shit.
Yeah, like they prefer everything else about the product other than the motion controls.
Yeah. Well, even Nintendo, and that's one of the things I kind of love about it. Like, there's no point in this generation where Nintendo's like, you really should use motion controls. Like, even in ARMS, they're just like, don't want to, don't have to. And it's not a tent pole of their thing anymore. It's an option, so people can make annoying things and put them in their games that make you have to do this shit. But the gamers don't like that, and everybody's pretty well figured that out. Like, it could be cool for racing games, I guess, if you want to turn like that, or it's good for microscopic aiming, or gyroscopic, micro aiming. Other than that, it's a pretty pointless feature, but it's not being ham-fisted on a lot of people. I think that one's just gonna slowly fade away and die. Same way, like for some reason the fucking Switch has a touchscreen. It doesn't need a touchscreen.
It was on sale. Well, they put it in. Like, how we get these cheap? So
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's okay. So you can interface with it, but you have controllers stuck onto the side, and the one game that is touchscreen, you can't play on the TV, and so it didn't sell well at all, and that's obviously going to quickly nobody's ever going to use the touchscreen on their Switch. It's stupid.
They will when Pokemon's in it.
You think so?
Oh yeah. especially since the way I think it's going to be based off a lot of what the 3DS did.
That's possible.
So when it's on the go, most people would just use their touchscreen instead of the controls. Because if you think about it, that game does not require that many, like a controller based. Only needs an analog stick to move around. Everything else you can do it on touchscreen.
That's true. Yeah, they'll probably take advantage of the same way Zelda did with the Slate and be like, "Oh, your Pokédex looks an awful lot like your Switch."
Right.
Yeah. All right. I think we covered that one. So let's move on here to Mr. Joel Torres. So his first question is, why can't Nintendo let their best game makers make something else other than Mario and Zelda? I guess he's asking for new IPs from their main studios.
Oh, you know why? Because that shit makes money.
Exactly.
Money.
It's money.
Money out for them.
It's the same reason why Konami wouldn't let Kojima make anything but a Metal Gear game.
Yeah, money.
It's
I don't think we can add anything more to that. They want money.
That's it. It's money, man.
Yeah,
it's
not
sad,
only that.
It's sad to say, but as the generation, as things get, as the years go on, and the new generations of consoles exist, the games get more expensive, and that companies are less willing to take a chance and put out something totally new.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad because if you think about it, all the major franchises Nintendo has spawned several generations ago.
Yeah.
Smash Brothers is old now. Like that's like one of the latest success, like Mario Party, Mario Kart. All of those are just super old franchises. It's kind of sad if you think about it because they have really good developers. They would be useful making brand new IPs.
Yeah, like the guys who make
the land, man. They're just reaping the soil.
The guys who make Pokemon, those guys make some pretty good games, but they've only made like 2 games that were not Pokemon games.
That's insane, man. All right, so we don't think get money. They want money,
All about the money.
All right. And his next question is, why do you guys think? Okay, well, actually, yeah. Why do you guys think, or what do you guys think happened to Capcom that turned them into a joke of a company that needs help to fund their games? I don't know about a joke of a company, but I guess it's like, okay, Capcom's obviously one of the biggest publishers out there, but they still need money from other publishers like Sony or whatever to publish their games. So what happened?
Well, remember before Capcom was saying that they were running into a huge deficit before, right? Where they were saying that they could barely develop some certain games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was not even that long ago. I mean, now
how did they get to that situation?
Because of all the failed games that they put out. It's simple. It's simple math, man. So
what games did they put out that failed? Like
I forgot like that fucking Rocket Pack game. What was the name of that game? Dark Void. That's fucking Capcom.
Oh shit.
I remember that.
But they still had Resident, even the shitty ass Resident Evil 6 still made a good amount of money for them.
But that was like one of the ones that were making the money, but they were putting out a lot of, there was a lot of failure games within there. And there's also games that, I know that Resident Evil and certain games did really well, but they had a lot of kind of bombs.
Bionic Commando too. Remember that?
Yeah,
shit?
We're talking about Bionic Commando. They put that out. They have quite a bit of like, granted, I know people are gonna say Dead Rising is great, but Dead Rising didn't do great. It did enough to where it could pay to make the next one. But yeah.
And the latest Dead Rising has not sold very well.
Hasn't sold very well. So what is Capcom doing? They're making these deals so that they probably don't have the infrastructure to fully develop new games. It has to be like stuff that's already existed. So they'll make deals. They'll make big deals with like Sony or Microsoft to kind of help also push their own technology as well. So it's like, okay, we're developing this game. In there, we're also able to, we're also getting this engine funded because that shit takes a lot of money.
It's ironic that they've abandoned their biggest typed project. Like everybody's still years later being like, whatever happened to Deep Down? They're like, that's the one thing Capcom didn't really invest too hard in.
Yeah, I'm convinced that deep down it's gone.
Oh yeah, I think that's.
Oh no,
I'm convinced. I'm actually convinced that deep down is actually Monster Hunter.
Imagine that.
I think that's what that is. That's what that eventually became.
That'd be interesting. All right, I guess that's pretty much that. So let's move on to Mr. Hashling and Slasher. So he goes, this is a 3-part question. 3, bruh? Really? Yeah. So he goes, the first part of the question is, would you like to be able to gift people games on PSN and Xbox Live? If the feature did come to both platforms, would you personally use it? And how big of an impact do you think it would have on NPDs? So let's tackle these one at a time. Okay, would you be able? Okay, would you be able to gift games on Xbox and Xbox PS and Xbox Live? I think Xbox Live is already doing it, aren't they? Or they're
starting.
Yeah, they're
doing their beta thing.
Okay, so there you go. That's the first part. They're gonna start. Would you personally gift games to people? No, I just give them money to buy a game. You know,
that would be great for gifts as for Christmas and stuff like that as a nice surprise. I did it for Steam. I got Manny and a bunch of other buddies. Because that's the thing. If Sony and Microsoft bring this in the way Steam does, it's going to be interesting because Steam does like bundles. So they'll give you like, for the price of 2 games, you'll get like 4 codes for these games. So then that way you can give out 4 copies of these games for the price of 2. And if they do those type of things, it's going to be a big hit. I can see a lot of people.
Just for the uninitiated, I'm talking about me right now. How does gifting work? Do you just have to buy the game again or something?
No. Gifting works is when you go and you select a game, right? Let's say, I don't know, just throw some, let's say Overwatch or something, Tomb Raiders, Overwatch or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? You'll see an option to buy for yourself, but if you own it already, you'll see another option to purchase as a gift. Then you click that, and then you'll see all your friends on a list, right? Then you check the buddy that you want to send it to, right? Or multiple, depending on whatever the deal was. Then you can add your own little comment, and then say whether sometimes they'll have like default, is this for a birthday or whatever? And then like a regular card type of thing. You select the ones you want, you click next, it'll charge your PayPal account or whatever you have, and then that's it. That person then gets a notification, hey, you just been given a game, as a gift. Click this button to redeem. They redeem it, poof, it downloads, it's in their queue. They have it.
But I mean, you have to buy a game twice, basically?
No.
No.
Select a game. Imagine when you select a game on PlayStation Network, and right before you put it in your cart, it asks you, are you buying this for you or are you buying this for a friend? And if you say you, it continues like you normally purchase it. If it says, if you select purchasing for friend, it'll ask you which friend you're purchasing it for. And then it'll pop you into a window that says, would you like to add a message? And my favorite message is
just make that. Do you have to pay regular price for the game? Because this is the way I'm seeing it, right? Like, let's say
on sale, you pay for the sale price.
Let's say I buy Tomb Raider for myself. I'm like, hey, this game's dope. Let me buy it for somebody else. So I have to buy the game again to give it to somebody. Okay, that's what I want to know.
It's just like going to the store and buying another copy of Tomb Raider.
You're
not going to get a discount. You're not going to get a discount.
No. He thought you might be able to gift them your digital copy. No, you can't give somebody your digital copy.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going back to my original answer because in general, I don't know what games like. For example, I went to a wedding yesterday, right? I don't know what the fuck they wanted. I just gave them money, So if I want to give somebody a game, I'd be like, here's $60, buy whatever you want.
There's an answer for that. Wait, Tony, there's an answer for that.
Adam.
You know it then. You know it.
Yeah.
Because it's on Steam. You can see your friends' wish list, so you could see what they want.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So if they were to integrate that on Xbox or PSN, they would need the wish list then. See, that makes sense. Because I'm like, I would hate to buy a game for somebody. Be like, yo, fuck this. Because you know how many games I have on Steam that people gifted me. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I kind of don't want this shit here.
Screw you, bro.
Also,
I gave Tony Goat Simulator, by the way. So
I'm okay with Goat Simulator. I'm that's not a problem for me. It's some other games. I'm like
games that you've been gifted on Steam.
Huh? Yeah, I have a bunch of them actually.
No, can't you re-gift them? Can't you still?
Oh, I don't know anything about it. You guys got to tell me.
Re-gift. You can't send.
I thought you could, as long as you didn't redeem it.
That friend thing, remember that family thing that they were going to have where you can share stuff? I don't know if Steam implemented that, where you can share your games that you don't use anymore with a friend of yours that's been on your list for like over 30 days or something like that. It was something that Microsoft wanted to do because Steam was doing it, but
I've never seen that. There's tons of games that I haven't even installed or anything that I've never gotten a message about that.
Yeah, it's either that or it has to be family or something. There's something with the accounts. Maybe if you have shared accounts, if they're linked in that way, then you can send games back and forth. But
And another cool thing that Steam does, it tells you when someone owns a game. So if you see something on the wish list and it's like, oh, it's Tony's birthday, maybe 4 people are thinking, let's buy Tony a game that's in the list. And it's like, oh, he wants Tomb Raider. But then like 4 people buy you Tomb Raider, but that won't happen because they'll see that you own it.
Okay, that's good. Cool thing. So I'm guessing you guys, you use this thing if it was on those networks.
Yeah, I found myself.
Okay, and then the last part of the question is, how big of an impact do you think it would have on NPDs? I don't think it would have too much of an impact.
I mean, those are digital sales.
Yeah, digital sales, exactly.
But then also, yeah. I think like his question is to do with, will they like reduce the amount of physical sales if you just like give like a digital copy?
Probably not. People like buying
no, I don't think so.
Shit. Yeah.
Again, people are still like. I mean, it's obviously more and more digital sales are meaning a lot more, but still, there are a lot of people out there that just want to go to a store.
Yep, pretty much. They like that physical shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Cool. Next question here. Do you think indie games like Hyper Light Drifter and Pyre could be awarded Game of the Year? Should there be a separate Game of the Year award for indie games and AAA games? Interesting.
There is. If we're treating it like the Academy Awards, well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
independent movies don't usually get into the Best Picture category unless it's a very, very rare situation.
So yeah, I don't know how to answer the question, to be honest. Go ahead, Carlos.
My game of the year last year was Inside, and that's a quote unquote indie game. So, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, do you think you would ever see it on like the Jeff Keighley Game Awards? I don't know about that.
So there kind of has been that, but it's not technically an indie game. What's that game? Oh my god, the Sony quote unquote indie game, the Flower
Journey.
That won a whole bunch of Game of the Year awards. I don't know if it won it for the Jeff Keighley shit, but
yeah.
And then that's like pretty much an indie game. It was just
fun. It is. So I guess you just answered the question. Yes, they can win. They have won in the past. I think he's asking this question because I on a previous Throwdown. By the way, Hashling, I got to give him props. He actually went through to listen to all the old Throwdowns. He was even
even the ones that we haven't posted.
no, all on this channel. Oh, the old ones are just gone now. Obviously, I wonder if he watched the ones in the playlist for old Throwdown because we have 10 of those.
Yeah, we have 10, those Throwdowns are actually older than the ones that are on the SoundCloud.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, because he was telling me, he was like, because I had said that I personally would never nominate a indie game to be Game of the Year, and yeah, I wouldn't. I said this on the show before. Like, I wouldn't nominate an indie movie to be Movie of the Year. I wouldn't nominate an indie game because to me, I want to see some shit, fucking high budget, crazy ass graphics, special effects, all that. But that's just me. Objectively speaking, yeah, an indie game could be Game of the Year. Why not? It's a video game. It could be nominated. Even fucking Angry Birds could win Game of the Year. But me personally, no. I want a AAA game to be Game of the Year. But that's just me.
Here's the thing, like it's kind of weird because like there are a lot of games that fall into that category that might be indie, but they're not exactly indie. You know what I mean? Like we've mentioned games like Flower and Journey, but those games are funded by a big company.
Yeah,
but they're not. You know what I mean? They're not like they're not AAA games, but they're not indie games either.
Or Child of Light. It's like, okay, it's indie game, but it's not because it's fucking Ubisoft.
Or like Shadow Complex that was made by Epic.
See, there you go. Yeah, so there's some kind of blurring that goes on sometimes. Okay.
Or like No Man's Sky that doesn't deserve to win anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to actually. Fuck. It
does call us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst game of the year. Worst game of the year.
Make specifically for that. This is like the worst game as well. A lot of guys had it on like the list, like the worst games of the year. It's like, damn right.
Wow.
Disappointing. And if you really want to get like technically there, like The Witcher 3 is an indie game, and that has won like a lot of game of the year awards.
That is a good point.
It has. But in the sense of like the low budget indie games, most likely not, because they're not like EA or something, so they have a really hard chance of winning.
Yeah,
but
listen,
hence
most of
why
these...
I don't listen to like those award shows, and hence why I listen to like YouTubers, because award shows are funded by cash, whereas YouTubers tend not to be as much.
Ding, ding,
Not
ding, ding, ding.
not to be as much as a
And
question.
just hit it on the head. You know, award shows are fucking dumb anyway because they're all bought. You know, so I wouldn't put too much stock in them anyway. But
It's
yeah,
good to watch for just the trailers. That's all.
Pretty much, bro. Pretty much. Okay, go ahead. Then I because I want to go to the second part of this. That's the more interesting one to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's just quick. Like, didn't Telltale's Walking Dead win Game of the Year for the Jeff Keighley show?
The first one, I think, won.
Yeah, and they were, and that's when they were there to show up. So like that just tells you that these kinds of games like that are funded by studios and stuff like win, because that's who's giving them money, man.
That's true. Right. So he goes, should there be a separate Game of the Year category for indies and AAAs? No. You know, I mean, you have seen award shows that have best independent game of the year. So I don't know if that counts, maybe. But I mean, if it's all supposed to be game of the year, it should all be everything, shouldn't it?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Again, I'm asking because I'm not 100% sure. Why do you think not?
Because generally an indie game is a game that's, you know, self-published or doesn't have a publisher or funding. You know, it's all kind of developed under one team. So you're essentially comparing something that has a budget to something that has a budget 10 times its size. You know, that's the main reason, you know, judge indie movies next to full-blown, you know, Hollywood movies is it's just not a fair fight. You know, it's you can have a fight club, and, you know, if you have a 5-year-old, you know, trying to be judged in that fight club, like, no, you can start a kids fight club on the side and have the 5-year-olds beat the shit out of the 5-year-olds, but you know, you put them up against a grown-ass man, you know, it's going to be super one-sided. So I think there is a good place for, or there's a place where we need to recognize good indie games, and that will possibly close the gap between them and AAA games. I
agree with that. I agree with that. You know,
it's so weird now, but because you have independent studios like Ninja Theory putting out games that are pretty AAA in look.
Well, that's,
you know, and they seem to be giving these sorts of like even some of the guys, you know, on Steam they're putting out some stuff that's a little more than just that. So it's still an independent thing, but it's, you know, it just has that kind of AAA feel, which is interesting.
Well, yeah, and that should be, and that's the thing, I guess. Like, if you didn't know that game was in indie, you wouldn't necessarily think it's such a big deal that it looks like a AAA game.
But again, we're talking about like a game like The Witcher, because officially that was fully funded by CD Projekt Red.
Yeah,
so that's officially that is officially an indie game.
Yeah, and by not recognizing it as an indie game, just comparing it to other games, like you take away what a huge deal it was that they funded that game themselves. Like that's one of the most impressive things about them as a company, is that they managed to make truly AAA looking games, truly AAA games, not just looking, but actual truly AAA games, while technically being an indie studio. I mean, that's a tremendous achievement that kind of gets overlooked if you don't bring up the fact that they're an indie game or an indie team.
So I think we found like the only indie game that's not going to be on the Switch.
Yo, shit. Yeah.
Oh no, there's another one. Hello Neighbor. That'll never make it. Look that shit up. Did you see that thing I sent you?
Yeah, I saw. Like, I don't know.
It's crazy.
Looking at.
It's crazy. It's only on Xbox too. It's coming this month in August.
Why aren't these guys talking about it? Just an exclusive?
I don't know. I looked it up too. I was like, what the fuck? It's so crazy. It is so crazy.
Yeah, I didn't see the whole video. I saw my man sneak into the dude's house. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
He sneaks in, he turns off all the lights, he picks up a hammer, he's waiting for him to come back. It's like disturbing shit, man.
It's crazy, bro. Okay, I think we pretty much covered that one. So next one here is Mr. Daniel J. Topical question here. Why did the PSN price go up in Europe? We had the price go up in America last year. Now the Europeans' turns. It kind of refer to our Capcom question or whoever it was. Money. You know, they want money.
They want money. I mean, it's why does anything go up in price?
Yeah, they want money.
They want money. But the thing is, you know, the one thing that I feel like, and this is in general, whenever you have price hikes on anything, I want to see what improvements we're going to start getting.
Yeah, we
like
both
nobody
that shit.
None of these guys, whenever they up their subscription fees, and also even talking about public transportation and other kinds of shit, they keep raising the prices of these things, but you never ever really see improvements. So I would like to say, like, hey, you know, I'll be down to pay this extra price, which we've already been paying.
Did anybody sign up for the beta?
What are we getting?
Did you sign up for the beta?
The beta of the PlayStation
for the new, yeah.
No, I'm not. I don't mess with those.
So I signed up, and one of the questions it asked me was if I was a PlayStation Now subscriber. You know, so I have a feeling that they're going to try to incorporate some of that into it.
This is the rumor that's going around right now. Basically,
I think it's because of that one question. It's like the standard stuff they always ask you. You know, it's like, oh, this, that, you like these things. But then it was like, are you a PlayStation Now subscriber? Yes or no? Like, shit. They've never asked that before.
Let me just address the rumor real quick. So the rumor is that in the next coming months, because right now they offer you 2 Vita games, 2 PS3 games, 2 PS4 games. What they're going to be offering you now is 2 PS4 games, 2 PS Now games, and 2 movies. That's the rumor going around right now. You know, make of it what you will, but that's what. So they may be integrating PS Now with this in a way, even though it's not the way we've been talking about for like 2 years now. It's like, make it free for fucking PS Now subscribers, you know?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting a PS Now, 2 PS Now games every month. That'd be fine.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's weird. And then the 2 movies, I'm like, really?
I don't know about that. Because then you got to pay the studios and stuff if they're not Sony Picture Films. You know?
The fuck. Oh, by the way, quick hashling, and you got your 2 questions, bro. We're not answering that one next week, man. All right, so yeah, there's not really much more to say about it. They want more money, so the price went up. You know?
Yeah, it's just the way these things go. But I mean, I'm hoping that it means something. We get improvements and stuff like that. We're not just paying more money just for the sake of paying more money.
Yeah,
Netflix.
We're not going to get any type of improvement. Like, remember when people thought that paying for PS Plus would be like a huge improvement? Or like, sorry, paying for PlayStation Network would be like, oh, like they're going to like improve the service. Like now that you guys are paying for it, like no, still the same bullshit. Like, say what you will, but like, how many of us here actually enjoy using like the store on like the PlayStation devices?
I just go online on my computer.
The website is probably the best. I use my phone for it.
I don't know. It's fucking bullshit on the console. You know,
the phone is the website one, so that's not really that bad.
Yeah, I have no issues with it.
You're right, man. It's bullshit. You know,
like the service is not going to get any better. Like they really need to just like overhaul it, but I think that it's gone too big to actually like redo it itself. So they like. They should have done the redo like well before the PS4 even went out, but the fact that they have not yet, and the fact that they have so many people like on board now, it's way too risky to try and like redo and like actually build in a good service. So we're kind of like stuck with this subpar thing, I guess.
Well, I mean, here's the silly thing: the current store is better than the first PlayStation 3 store.
No shit.
That's not saying much.
Yeah, that's true, man. All right. And the final question, this one's a kind of fun one from Callum Buchanan, who says this is his first time watching a streaming. So welcome.
Oh, nice.
What's up?
Awesome.
So he's a transferer.
Exactly. So, and it's a fun question too. He goes, "How many subscribers did you guys think you would get when you first started YouTube?" Very interesting. I never really thought about that. I'm only really thinking about that shit now.
2.6 million.
Here's the hilarious thing. You can actually go back to our OG YouTube shows, right? and you can like there's literally lines where Tony's saying like, yeah, we're gonna keep doing the SoundCloud show because that gets most of the hits and the views and stuff like that. But the YouTube, we do this just so just to put it out there. But yeah, at the time we're making those, the YouTube portion of our show was literally non-existent.
Yeah, and now it's the complete opposite. I am not exaggerating numbers now. We literally have 10 times more subscribers on YouTube than we have SoundCloud listeners. It's fucking ridiculous. That's why we kind of, even though we give the MP3 guys their love, we kind of focus more on the live shit, YouTube, because this would brings in the money, literal money now, which is fucking ridiculous. I checked my bank account, I'm like, oh shit, we got paid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we literally that goes, and obviously that stuff goes toward, keeping our SoundCloud alive.
We just paid a year. We just paid for the full year.
A year of SoundCloud, which is great for those guys.
Yeah, like Manny just said, we weren't even thinking about that shit back in the day. We were not even thinking about this. Like, the YouTube stuff is just something there. But then when we restarted it, I never really had any aspirations for it. It wasn't until this year I'm like, maybe I should set some goals for us. My goal for this year is I want to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. I don't know if we'll do that. Probably going to be 1,500, but 2,000, because now it's like, I'm seeing a lot of movement now, but I originally never even thought about that shit,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of you guys felt any differently.
No, I don't. I mean, and I never really thought about it really either. It was like, all right, it's the moment we started getting more viewers on our YouTube was a good moment where we just hit like 50. We're like, yeah, we got 50,
dude, crazy. And now we're like, what, 1,120 something? Mm-hmm. It's nuts, man. It's crazy. All right, that's gonna kind of do it for us. A little bit of a shorter show, which is good because we got Game of Thrones to watch.
Yo, man, I gotta watch me some Twin Peaks.
There you go, man. What about who watches Rick and Morty in here? Because that show started too.
I do.
I do.
Oh yeah.
Watch it.
A lot of good TV for everybody. A lot of good TV. All right, so we want to watch TV, so we'll see you guys later. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comment section of this episode on YouTube or on the Coalition, and we'll answer them on next week's show, man. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. Tonight is joined by Emilio Lopez.
Let's rock.
Carlos Romero.
Go watch My Hero Academia and Hunter x Hunter.
Brett Murdoch.
Watch more Rick and Morty.
Adam Vale.
Keep watching that lucha. Watch some wrestling, man-on-man action.
and Brian Manjoma.
Okay, just screw what all these guys have just said and go watch some Steins Gate.
Yeah, shit. He fucked up Carlos right now.
Yo, I'm just fucking screwed up right now.
Oh, man. All right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday. Later.
Don't drink and drive.
Peace.
Deuces.